everyone, this is Devin Moreno and welcome to another Baltimore Investors video. And today I wanted to go and talk about with you classes in real estate and why I wouldn't recommend most any of them. Now, obviously, this is a little bit difficult to say since most people want to join real estate were exactly like me, knowing absolutely nothing in construction, nothing about real estate, hadn't even bought a home yet, didn't know anything about lending, how to manage your finances, and most anything required to actually do real estate. So of course you're going to want to reach out to a mentor or at least take some sort of courses. You need to educate yourself, right? Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of scams revolving around real estate that are meant to take on and prey on new investors. And a lot of them rely on you feeling like you kind of think you know what you're talking about a little bit in order to make sense to your logic. So as far as finding a real mentor, let's cover that first, why it would be very difficult for you to find an actual mentor when you're really new in this process. And there's usually about 3 reasons I can come up with right now that are kind of the more common reasons of why a mentor really wouldn't want to work with a newbie investor. So the number 1 reason is going to be that they don't think you're serious. They're oftentimes going to realize that unfortunately, so many new investors burn out and get out of this because landlording and real estate is a lot harder than, let's say, stocks and many other forms of investing. It is tough, and most people honestly aren't cut out for it. So many of them quit, many of them give up, and then the investor, the mentor, is going to feel like he wasted his time becoming invested in you. So that is one major reason why a lot of mentors won't really rope themselves up with new investors very often. The second reason that they won't help you is because they don't have faith in you. Unfortunately, real estate and this whole business requires a lot of different skill sets that have absolutely nothing to do with real estate at all. It involves communication, knowing how to manage a business, knowing how to be confident, knowing how to talk to people. You're going to be talking and interacting with lots and lots of different people. Networking is extremely important in here. And unfortunately, you will have to learn how to deal with tenants and some of the issues that they can present. So if your personality and your skill set and your background do not cover a lot of these areas, they're not going to have any faith in you. And as I said before, unfortunately, a lot of people really just shouldn't be in real estate. And the investor may know that, and unfortunately, the mentor will not help you. The third and most common reason that it's hard to find a mentor is because they don't really feel it's worth their time to actually mentor someone. I mean, for the time it takes them to teach you how to do something, they could have bought 7 more houses. They can increase their net worth by $1 million. It just takes too long. The amount of questions you're going to have is going to be almost mind-boggling for them, especially since you're going to have to ask all the most basic things. I mean, just simply walking into Home Depot and you're like, what type of plywood, what type of nails, what type of drywall, what type of this and that, and like just that alone will just drive them nuts. So ultimately, they're not going to find that it's worth their time unless they charge you an insane amount of money and probably more than you're really comfortable with paying. So now that I covered the reasons that mentors often won't want to help you, let's go into the 3 types of scams that I have often seen quite a bit, and unfortunately I've seen even my friends get roped into these. And the first one we're going to go ahead and cover are the big ones that you see actually a lot on YouTube, and that is your $15,000 to $50,000 seminars. So these seminars are absolutely absurd. Basically, you pay all this money to be roped into this whole idea. Now, they'll get you a little easier than that. They'll have a, $500 buy-in fee and whatever. They're trying to do this sunk cost fallacy sort of mindset on you in order to get you just in the door. And after that, they have nothing but books to sell you and all these syndications. I mean, there's a lot of famous real estate investors who are known for this type of stuff. So you have to be very careful. A lot of this isn't going to teach you anything. And you're going to be out $15,000 and find out that you're still not a very good investor, but you are a hell of an investor in their stuff. You're very good at giving them money for what they need, but you're just still not able to do it on your own. So a lot of these little seminars and such aren't really going to give you a lot. They just pump your head full of a lot of ideas and thinking bigger, often trying to get you to invest in things far beyond your capability as a new investor. And of course, really, like I said, these are syndications. So just watch out for those. You really don't want to get involved in most of them. So I definitely advise to be careful about these big seminars or huge classes where, someone famous is speaking. The next thing I would watch out for is wholesalers. See, wholesalers will often tell people that they're going to teach them how to wholesale. Now, they're the only available mentors, mostly because they spend a lot of time actually trying to find new investors and telling them over and over again that, oh, you can do this with no money down. You can do this easily. You can do it from home. It's super simple, and they're so willing to teach you. But they're the only ones who are really willing to teach most new investors. And the reason why is because they actually want you to work for them. See, what they're really going to have you do is pay them to teach you how to cold call, send out mailers, and get on their team of cold calling and, all of that to find them leads. They need you to be a lead generator. So that is oftentimes what you're going to be taught. You're not going to really know how to write the contracts. You're not really going to know how to negotiate with the sellers. You're not going to know how to assign them. You're not going to get their buyers lists or their sellers lists. You're not going to really get any of that. And maybe they might help you create it on your own, but oftentimes it's going to be under the pretense of, well, you need to learn how to fish, and what kind of teacher would I be if I did it all for you? So that's something you got to do on your own. So what did you pay for? Now, the next type of thing we have to talk about is mentorship programs. Now, not all of these are bad. I actually had one in the area that I actually really liked. I paid $1,200, $1,200 for a set amount of hours, and this was from an investor in the city who really knew what he was doing, and I saw value in the classes. So it's very key. You have to know how to figure out, what are you paying for? What services are they providing? In this case, this mentor came to my houses, and he came to about 3 of them actually, and multiple times told me exactly what I needed to do, and even gave me some of his contacts, even told me what materials to use, everything, just everything I needed to know. And he sat with me for over 2 hours in every single property. So I would say that is value well spent. But in a lot of these mentorship programs, it's going to cost you a whole heck of a lot more than that. There's some programs that will cost you thousands just to even get into it. Now, some of them have these deals where they'll give you the money back if you complete maybe a flip or maybe a property in certain amounts of time. However, the initial buy-in is really to just lock you in. Once again, that sunk cost mindset. They don't want you to just quit. So after that, they will end up charging you monthly for whatever services that they're providing, maybe some kind of mentorship. Honestly, it's probably going to be only 30 minutes of their time, maybe monthly, maybe weekly if you're really, really lucky. And mostly they have too many students to do this with everyone, and they're going to be way too overwhelmed if they spend too much time on your issues. And 30 minutes is not enough time to learn anything that you need to do. So oftentimes these mentorship programs will try to focus you toward wholesaling or flips. The reason why is because they're trying to get it where you can get a massive commission or a sale or a profit, essentially, that you can split 50-50 with them. So that means it's much more in their favor to push you toward those things rather than helping you build actual generational wealth, which is buying and holding and actually, purchasing the property, burning it out to get all your money back, and then renting it out to tenants. There's nothing really in it for them to do that. If you think about it, most mentors don't only have so many contractors, so many contacts that they can give you. If they did that for all, 15, 20 of their students, then there's no way they would have enough contractors and people to lend out to all of their mentees. So once again, they're going to use the old teach you how to fish method of thinking, which is essentially they're going to tell you that you need to find them on your own. And they may vet them a little bit, but overall, you're pretty much on your own in that process. Realistically, I would avoid these mentorship programs. They aren't really going to do you a whole hell of a lot of good. You're going to be doing most of it on your own anyway, and you could probably get all the same information just by watching YouTube, networking with people, and asking a friend. So you realistically do not need to go into these and shell out thousands, if sometimes tens of thousands of dollars over the months of time to learn not really much of anything. So what would I advise as your mentor? Okay, you can't go to these classes and you can't do the huge seminars that cost lots of money and you can't join wholesalers, so what can you do? Well, there's a couple things you can do. I mean, there is some RIAs out there that in these meetups. I would look up in local meetups and see hey, where are the investor meetups in your area? I would attend those, I would meet people, and then just make friends. If you make friends with people, you will often find they are willing to help you. Now, making friends can be a little bit difficult because you may not have the personalities involved with the person you want to be your mentor, but you really don't need someone super experienced. And even in my case, my mentor is someone that I absolutely would call my friend. We just have similar personalities. I went through a lot of mentors and investors before I found this person and latched onto him because I realized, oh, hey, we have a lot in common. I actually like hanging out with you, even if real estate wasn't a factor. So the other way that I would say if you're trying to find a mentor is to go to a real estate agent who invests in real estate. I'm not talking about a real estate agent who is like selling for homeowners. Don't go to just any real estate agent. You want a real estate agent who specializes in investing. They may not even care to have their office, and they certainly don't do this most of their time. Maybe they do it a lot of the time because the commissions are so hefty. However, it's really just part of their investing journey that they're taking themselves. So that's what you want. An investor, I would say someone with like 10 properties, someone who clearly knows what they're doing. The reason why is because they're being paid to work with you. They're being paid to search for the houses for you. So if you realistically want a mentor, you don't want to pay for one, I find these to be very, very useful to not only just work through the process of even finding the house, but also here's how you would renovate it. They can kind of walk you through the process, and they have incentive, once again, because the seller is paying them when you purchase the house. Just keep in mind, make sure, one, they actually specialize in investing, and two, that they're out for your best interests, which is why I say find someone who's your friend or you could be friends with. Well, that's it for today. I will probably cover these scam classes in other videos, maybe break them down in some more specific examples, but I definitely just want to encourage people not to join a lot of these. You're not going to get a lot of value. So if you really want value, I'd recommend staying on YouTube. I provide all of this for free, and so do thousands of other channels. So if you like the content we're providing here, though, of course, like and subscribe, comment below, let me know if what you want to see, and I will absolutely make sure to get that on video. And I'll talk to you all very soon.